Some movies speak to a very specific part of your soul. You don't know how, sometimes you don't even know why, but they connect to a part of your heart, your experience, your perspective, in a way other movies don't. One of those movies, for me, is 2016's Hell or High Water. Welcome to the Positive Picture Show, where I talk about why I love movies. There's an adage that the West was one, that at some mythical time it stopped being frontier and became civilization. All of us who were born under the West's hot sun, who baked in the blistering summers and froze in the frigid winters, all of us who have hiked the windy trails, fished the flowing streams, and walked the lonesome prairies know that the West never stopped being wild. I gravitate towards movies that understand this truth. In recent years, though, one artist has risen to the top as a man who personifies the wildness of Western living. That man is consultant turned stunt writer turned actor turned screenwriter turned director turned showrunner and constant real-life cowboy, Taylor Sheridan. Sheridan is a true blue Texas cowboy, has been working his way through Hollywood a piece at a time, getting recognition as David Dale in The Sons of Anarchy, and then eventual acclaim as the writer of Denis Villeneuve's tense thriller Sicario, which went on to be nominated for 3 Oscars. The next film he wrote went on to be nominated for 4 Oscars, including Best Picture. Through this, Sheridan cemented himself as a creative force to be reckoned with. Throughout all of his stories, both in cinemas and on the small screen, Sheridan has tapped into a rough, dirty world like few others have even tried to do. The melancholic, violent, yet strangely warm tone of many of his scripts capture a piece of Americana that, unless you've been part of it, is hard to really understand. There's a heaviness to the West, a somberness, a beauty and community that is untapped in Hollywood stories. Rarely do we see films that are westerns through and through, but take place in the very real, very harsh reality of the modern West. But Hell or High Water is one of the most superb examples of one done right. Brought to the screen by David McKenzie, this film taps into the oppressive reality of the dying middle class of modern Comancheria. This is not the gorgeous vistas of a thriving frontier. This is the dying plains of an abandoned community. It's easy to set a movie in the vibrance of New York City, the classicness of Los Angeles, or the beauty of Hawaii, but there's an entire country's worth of people scattered across the wilderness in between. West Texas, its poverty, dust, bent chain link fences, and dented cars are as central to the story as the characters. It's a tired world, a weary world, a world with stores closing down and littered debris, a world of sweat-stained shirts and farmer stands.
And how is anybody supposed to make a living here?
The shots of this brutal existence are just perfect. Every single character has so much dimension. The world of West Texas feels so full, so populated with real and dynamic characters. Even with just a few seconds of screen time, every character establishes more personality than some leads of entire franchises.
You got a gun on you, old man?
You're damn right I got a gun on me.
Sideways don't want to meet me. Find itself on the wrong end of a short rope.
Quack.
Their skin or their souls?
21st century, I'm racing a fire to the river with a herd of cattle. And I wonder why my kids will do this for a living.
Y'all been here for a while?
long enough to watch a bank getting robbed has been robbing me for 30 years.
So you go out there and you get a warrant, you come after the money that I will be using to keep a roof over my daughter's head.
See, you boys pay those bastards back with their own money? Well, if that ain't Texan, I don't know what is.
You know, I've been working here for 44 years. Ain't nobody ever ordered nothing but T-bone steak and a baked potato.
These are characters who can only be written by someone with an intimate knowledge of this world and with a lifelong relationship with these kinds of folks. Jeff Bridges and Gil Birmingham's relationship is something most movies aren't willing to include. It's a little too realistic for Hollywood standards. They respect each other, they clearly care for each other, but they can be a little cruel, a little cutting, a little racist.
I'm lucky I got a half-breed by my side to avenge me.
Bridges' gruff lawman vibe can feel a bit repetitive since 2011's True Grit, but he is such a masterful actor that he brings dimension in every iteration.
Indians ain't supposed to feel sorry for cowboys. It's the other way around.
Chris Pine as Toby allows us to relate to the brothers. His eyes and general care for the welfare of others endears us to him. We understand why someone like him, someone desperate and alone, would turn to the world he embraces, even if he isn't quite cut out for it. His brother, on the other hand, Tanner, is a different story. Their relationship, both spiteful and loving, is the anchor for the film.
Hey, Tobe, go f*** yourself.
Yourself.
Ben Foster has proven over and over that he is a stellar talent and a bonus to every film he's in. This movie shows his unmistakable prowess at being an arch villain. He is a wild man, a rogue agent, an insatiable and dangerous person who, without Toby to balance him out, would rain blood and horror on the world.
We're like the Comanches, little brother.
Raiding where we please, with the whole of Texas, hunting our shadow.
But because of Foster's expert understanding of character, we strangely love him.
I've never met nobody who got away with anything, ever.
And why in the hell did you agree to do it?
Because you asked, little brother.
He's erratic, impulsive, but weirdly lovable. The gleefulness in which he commits crime and his roguish churlishness towards authority are a palpable cocktail for a villain we root for. He's a broken man riddled with resentment and anger, looking to punish the world or just have fun trying. Man, some of his lines are all-timers.
We should get another shot. They'll be ready soon enough.
Suck a D.
Don't chase me, Chief.
Have you managed to stay out of prison for a year?
It's been difficult. Your last days in the nursing home, you'll think of me and giggle. Boy, you'd think there were 10 of me. Are you trying to make me mad? I said Dr. Pepper. This is Mr. Pibb.
That's all I had.
Only a**holes drink Mr. Pibb. Now reported stolen till Friday.
Sure feels like beer o'clock.
Be as gentle as a young nurse.
His best scene, however, and maybe my favorite scene in the movie, is in the casino.
You Comanche, lords of the plains.
Lords of nothing now.
Tanner's unwillingness to flinch in the face of danger and his latent insanity allows him to be iconic.
You know what Comanche means? It means enemies forever.
Enemies with who?
Everyone.
You know what that makes me?
An enemy.
No. It makes me a Comanche.
This one interaction teaches you everything you need to know about this world, about Tanner. It doesn't matter what it is, it doesn't matter who it is, it doesn't matter why. The whole world is against you and you are against the whole world. As the movie explodes into a violent and sad finale, death is no respecter of persons. The killing of Gil Birmingham is shocking and unceremonious, and the death of Ben Foster feels just as hollow. I love the shot of him coming around the Bronco, gun in hand, ready to deal out death with a quiet coolness. That, combined with rigging the car for explosion and his ascent into the rocks, makes for a vicious end to a vicious life, but not a victorious feeling end. No parade or care given to those who die in Comancheria. The film continues in a somber, uncertain, non-celebratory way, just like life on the plains. It goes on, often forgotten, stumbling towards an unknown future. Why does this movie speak to me so much? Why does this peculiar, odd, tense, sad movie speak to my Western soul? There's something fascinating, something enthralling, something gut-wrenching about the collection of broken people in this film. Pine has lost everything and is trying to stumble on. Foster wants to war with the world. Bridges wants to keep fighting but is at the end of his rope. The West, though beautiful, is splattered with people fighting for the hard scrabble plot of land they have, begging for respite but being beaten down by the world. I have met these people. I have lived with these people. I have talked to these people.
I've been poor my whole life. Told my parents, their parents before them. It's like a disease.
I have driven on the dusty, barren roads. I have seen the ramshackle towns and the whining refineries. I have seen the heartbreak and the abandonment and the toughness, and nobody seems to care. Nobody seems to give it a second look. They call it flyover country. They parody and mock the people there. They caricaturize or demonize the culture. They ignore the plight and laugh at the struggle, but not this film. Not Sheridan and not me. Good stories, powerful stories, stories with heart and stories with motive need to be told. They need to be understood, spread, and praised. Hell or High Water is a story that rings true for millions of Americans, working tooth and nail to scrape out a living, baking under the hot western sun.
Lord of the Plains.
Thank you for watching. Check out the other videos on my channel and subscribe to keep up with all the videos in the future.